shipping port like Felixstowe. There's no bigger story than there has been over the last few months with the Ever Given. You remember what happened to it? Well, let's get an update. From Felixstowe Live, it's Chris Gosling. Chris, hello, how are you?
Well, very well actually, Rob. Doing nicely, I think. Had a little stroll along the prom, and it's lovely out there. A bit breezy, but there you go. But yeah, nice to hear the Ever Given is in a friendly place, really, isn't it?
Now, talk us through the story, because last time we spoke to you, it was stuck across the Suez Canal, and it was causing havoc, wasn't it?
It was, wasn't it? It was causing a lot of excitement. It was aground in the Suez Canal for about a week. And the amount of kerfuffle and ship changes and schedule changes, all kinds of stuff went on, and it made a huge amount of difficulties for the shipping community, for the UK import community, and for shipping people around the world. It really kind of threw a genuine spanner in the works, and that is the issue, I guess you'd say, with relying on one major route for major ships to come between the East and the West. After a week... Sorry.
Time for this to happen, but this was probably the worst time ever with the COVID virus going round, shipping containers being short. The shipping industry is in turmoil, and then this happens. And I mean, if you were involved in shipping, if it was your commercial livelihood, you'd be pulling your hair out.
Well, I think a lot of people did. Truthfully, I think we were talking to people all the time on. From the local aspect of the shipping industry and from the international, who were saying, don't know what we're doing really. We don't know what we're going to do at the point when all this kind of rolls around, because obviously you've got the actual instance of the ship running aground, and kind of 2 to 3 weeks later the delay from the Far East hits us in the West. So it all kind of added up, and it all got worse and worse, and it's continued to be somewhat of a shambles ever since, in reality, hasn't it? The poor old Ever Given was stuck in the canal for months while the insurance companies and the owners tried to negotiate with the Suez Canal Authority. My personal feeling, judging from the reports, is that really a major part of the problem was caused by the Suez Canal Authority pilots, who I think misguided the ship, if you like, and that seemed to be a major part of the problem. Beyond that, there you go. Poor ship sat in the Suez Canal for months, and now she's back. But what's going to happen to the cargo? Who only knows, because so much of that cargo on board is going to be time-tied. So in other words, there will be summer products that by the time they get to anywhere near the retail chain, they'll be not required this year, thanks, and stuff like that. So what's going to happen next is a good question. And if you want probably a few tons of mouldy fruit and veg, well, you can have that any time you want.
I was going to ask that, would there be perishables on board? I mean, perishable, it's going to stink a bit, isn't it, on there as well? But there's going to be lots of legal companies trying to sort out what's going to happen now, because if it's your shipments, I mean, there's a lot of building stuff on there as well. If it arrives too late, we've got to find out, are they entitled to say, I'm sorry, it hasn't been delivered on time, can we send it back? It's another nightmare. It's ongoing.
The reality is there's a lot of cargo on there that is literally going to be, I think, is literally going to be abandoned by the cargo owners. In many instances, or in all instances, what's had to happen is that the ship owners have declared something called a general average, and that means that all the cargo owners have to pay something towards the ship's recovery. So what will happen is that cargo owners whose cargo is literally worthless now, maybe, are going to say, forget it, we don't want it, you can have it.
So they've got the right to decline it. So that means actually that
they don't have to pay.
The contents are worthless, but the containers are on. The empty container is going to be worth more than the contents.
Yeah, but most of the containers belong to the shipping lines.
Okay. So where is it now? It arrived in Rotterdam this morning, did it?
It's arrived in Rotterdam this morning,
and now we wait to see what's happened. Now there's been several, quite a lot really, of declarations about this is what's going to happen next, but my suspicion is that the only people who really know what's going to happen next is a group of men and women sitting in an office with the air conditioning on in Taiwan, which is where the head office of Evergreen is. And I think that what's really going to happen is that they're going to see how they go with unloading the ship, and if they have to make changes in the plan, they will do. Last week they were talking about employing a ship called the Ever-Utile to actually bring the cargo back to the UK. They were going to transship it all from Ever-Given onto Ever-Utile and bring it back to the UK. But the latest we hear is that they've now said more recently that they're going to bring the Ever-Given back, possibly on the 8th of August.
Is it ever going to get to Felixstowe? I don't think it will it?
I don't know. I think, honestly, as I said, the only people who really know is that group of men and women at Evergreen. They probably have an idea in the back of their heads of what will happen, but I think they're going to wait a little bit and see how they go and see what the situation they get from the shipwrights when they start to look more closely again at what's got to be done to repair the Ever-Given, whatever damage has occurred to her that stopped her making full speed coming home. Or coming this way.
Amazing. I mean, if it was a fictional story, it'd be fascinating. But it's real lives, it's real money. We're dealing with companies' futures here, aren't we, as well? Because it's going to send some people bust.
I would imagine some people, but not in reality. I think not many. Specifically, there are things like insurances that will cover quite a lot of corporate losses, I'm sure. But I think for some low-value cargoes and things like that, some people don't take insurance, and those people will be facing serious problems.
Felixstowe Live's always fascinating what you do on there. Can we not send you to Taiwan to sort it out, Chris?
I'd love you to
if you pay my expenses, Rob. I'll be on the next plane.
Just see how much I've got in my pocket. I've got £1.5 in here. That might do it.
I could probably manage for £4.27, something like that.
We can send you in a container. Felixstowe Live, always a pleasure to watch. And thank you for joining us yet again here on Felixstowe Radio. Take care, Chris.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob. Bye.
Rob Dunger on Felixstowe Radio on 107.5 FM, online and on your smart speaker.